What's up, branding experts? Arek here at Ibek Design, and in this video we're gonna look at some of the best brands in the world and the brand strategies behind them, and then we're gonna talk about how to develop a brand strategy for yours or your client's brand so that you can see some specific examples to which we can all relate and that you can get inspired or just understand key components of developing a successful brand strategy. Now, if you're new to this channel and you want actionable tips on branding, strategy and design, well then smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well. My name is Arek Dvorniczak, and at Ibek Design my mission is to help people design iconic brands. Okay, so before I show you these brand strategy examples, first let's quickly define what a brand strategy actually is and why it's important for branding a business. So what is a brand strategy? So when it comes to this subject, Martin Neumeyer is a true brand strategist, and this is how he defines brand strategy: a plan for systematic development of a brand in order to meet business objectives. Martin Neumeyer, Brand Gap. So the goal of a brand strategy is to shape the perceptions of a brand's audience so that ultimately we can influence them. Therefore, the brand strategy sets out the plan for shaping those perceptions through different forms of expression, both visual and verbal. And brand strategy used to be reserved for global brands, but now more and more business owners start to realize the importance of building a brand and the strategy behind it. So in this video, I examine some of the world's greatest organizations and reverse engineer their greatness so that you can understand the strategic decisions they've made in the past that allow them to grow and build iconic brands that they are today. Now, before we talk about those specific examples, first it's important to define key elements of an effective brand strategy. So you see, branding experts will go about defining brands in different ways and by using a variety of frameworks, but most of them would definitely agree on those key elements that I believe every successful brand strategy must include, which is brand purpose, vision, values, positioning, personality, voice, and a tagline. Now, I will show you an example of a famous brand for each of those 7 key brand strategy elements, and when you look through these 7 examples, please look for opportunities to not copy, but just to understand the concept behind it so that you can apply it for your own use. And then I will give you my step-by-step process to developing a brand strategy for yours or your client's brand, so stick around. Okay, so without further ado, let's just jump right into the first and probably the most important element of your brand strategy, which is your brand purpose. And here let's take Tesla as an example. Now, the goal of a brand's purpose is to define the greater good behind your work and then talk about it in order to rally your team and foster connection with your audience. So your brand's purpose is expressed by your purpose statement, which is a short sentence describing the why behind your work as a brand. So why does your company exist? Why did you get out of bed this morning, and why should anyone care? So Tesla is a great example of a purpose-driven brand. Now, Tesla was founded in 2003 by a group of engineers who wanted to prove that people didn't need to compromise to drive electric cars. Now, Tesla believes in clean, sustainable energy and saving our planet. So the Tesla's brand purpose statement is the following: to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy, which is a great way to go about your brand purpose, to tie the brand to a greater cause like saving our planet, helping people or animals. So Tesla believes that electric vehicles can be better, quicker, and more fun to drive than gasoline cars. But today, Tesla builds not only all electric vehicles, but also clean energy generation and storage solutions. So as you can learn from this example, your purpose statement should be open for future expansion. So Tesla's purpose statement doesn't focus on just cars specifically, but it's about something bigger. It believes in general that the faster the world stops relying on fossil fuels and moves towards a zero-emission future, the better. And this can be manifested through electric cars, of course, but also other products like storage and clean energy solutions. So to sum up, the brand purpose will inspire your employees to come to work and give your customers a clear reason why they should engage with your brand, so that ultimately your brand can play an invaluable, irreplaceable role in people's lives. Now let's talk about brand vision by taking Starbucks as an example. Now, the goal of a brand's vision is to ensure that the brand is navigated towards the right direction. So your brand's vision is expressed by your vision statement, which is a one-sentence statement describing the clear and aspirational long-term desired end state. So you need to describe the future your brand is ultimately working towards. And this will inspire and energize your staff, but also help you dream big and influence long-term long-term business decisions. Now, this is how Starbucks thinks of the future position as a business they want to be in, to be the premier purveyor of the finest coffee in the world. So Starbucks' vision statement is probably why the multi-million-dollar coffee house chain has soared to success. After carefully examining the Starbucks' vision statement, it's clear that they have an ambitious goal to become the finest coffee maker in the world. And if you have a clear vision of where your brand is heading, then you can make meaningful decisions along the way. So you need to describe the future your brand is ultimately working towards, and it will help you think more strategically and make meaningful decisions that are on brand. Now let's talk about brand values by taking Apple as an example. Now, the goal of your brand's core values is to ensure that you can create a culture and driving force for what the brand stands for in the world and how you want that brand to be perceived in the marketplace. So basically, your core values are guiding principles that articulate what your brand stands for, and they must be actionable so that your staff can act upon them and create that desirable internal culture and ultimately deliver a consistent brand experience externally to your customers. Now, Steve Jobs was also the company's chief brand evangelist who used to say, "Marketing is about values, it's a complicated and noisy world, and we are not going to get a chance to get people to remember much about us." So Apple's core values are the following: accessibility, to ensure people with physical limitations are not left out; education, provide educational solutions to schools across the United States; environment, build products that are safe for both the users and the environment; inclusion and diversity, to create products that serve everyone. We believe in including everyone. Supplier responsibility, hold suppliers and partners responsible for creating quality products for our users. And privacy, offer the utmost security for the user. Privacy is a fundamental human right. So if you are a founder and you are not clear about what your brand stands for, then how can you expect others to know? You see, you need to be like Steve Jobs and also be your own chief brand evangelist. So to sum up, your core values stand at the very core of your brand and they guide business processes. And together with your purpose and vision statements, they guide your company both internally and externally. And they are important to both attracting customers as well as retaining your best employees. Now let's talk about brand positioning by taking Amazon as an example. Now the goal of a brand's positioning is to find a differentiator and set your brand apart from your competitors. And as Al Ray said, positioning is not what you do to a product, it's what you do to the mind of a prospect. So you need to find a differentiator and to be able to stand out in the marketplace and stand for something in the minds of your customers so that your audience can remember you for something you want to be known for. Now, when you think of Amazon, what comes to your mind? Probably you love that quick delivery and excellent customer service. So Amazon's positioning statement is the following: for consumers who want to purchase a wide range of products online with quick delivery, Amazon provides a one-stop online shopping site. Amazon sets itself apart from other online retailers with its customer obsession, passion for innovation, and commitment to operational excellence. Now, as a business, you can do many different things, but as a brand, you want to be known for just one thing, not one product or one service, but just one idea, so that ultimately you can create that desirable perception and take a specific place in the minds of your customers. So next time they're about to make a purchasing decision, it can help them navigate through a variety of choices and buy from you thanks to that clear positioning. Now let's talk about brand personality by taking Harley as an example. Now, the goal of a brand's personality is to give a human side to your brand, so that your target audience can build a long-lasting relationship with your brand as if it was a person. Because you see, certain personalities attract each other and others repel each other. So you want to create that human-like persona that will attract your target audience and connect with them on an emotional level. Now, the personality of Harley Davidson is ruggedness, and it fits the outlaw archetype. So you see, a brand you choose is often a vehicle to express yourself. So Harley Davidson has a macho, rebellious, America-loving, freedom-seeking personality. And this personality directs all the visual as well as verbal communication. And you can see that conveyed in all brand touchpoints, like in marketing campaigns, for example. So ultimately, having a well-defined brand personality will help make that brand-customer connection as if they were interacting with a real human being. Now let's talk about brand voice by taking Tiffany as an example. Now, the goal of a brand's voice is to set the guidelines for how you want your brand to sound to others, which is basically how the personality of your brand comes through the words that you use in communication. So that your brand's voice is essentially an extension of your brand personality, and it helps you develop a consistent way of conveying your message to your audience. Now, Tiffany is not just about the shade of baby blue, but it's also about their well-defined brand personality and brand voice, of course. So the Tiffany's brand voice is witty, elegant, and classic. Now, the content and social teams work together for voice consistency between social posts and branded content. Historically, Tiffany's voice as a brand was witty, and Twitter allows us to bring that back, said Hong, who is the team of art directors and copywriters. So Tiffany has a clearly defined brand voice and is big on social media and marketing. After all, people are willing to pay much more for a Tiffany product than some equivalent without Tiffany logo. So they pay for that logo, the design, the small blue box that holds the jewelry, but it wouldn't be all possible to sell those often overpriced products without proper tone of voice and messaging, of course. So in every single communication, the Tiffany's brand voice is very elegant and classic, and the brand became iconic in big part thanks to that consistent branding with the tone of voice that resonates well with their customers. So to sum up, your personality and your voice will work together to represent the how your message is delivered, and your brand's tone of voice should be used consistently across all channels of communication to allow the audience to build that strong human-like connection. Now finally, let's talk about brand tagline, and let's take Nike as an example here. So now the goal of a brand's tagline is to convey the brand spirit in the shortest way possible. So basically you need to distill your brand message to a selection of a very few concise and memorable words that tell the story of your brand. And your brand tagline should be inspired by your positioning, of course, which is for internal purposes only, while your tagline is for external purposes, it's customer facing. So in just a few words, you are expected to grasp the vibe of your brand. So the Nike's positioning is perfectly manifested to the outside world by the renowned tagline, "Just do it," which translates into a brand message that is able to inspire and bond customers to the Nike brand. Now, the Nike's Just Do It slogan was created about 30 years ago by a renowned advertising agency, Wieden & Kennedy, and is still one of the core components of the Nike's brand today. So by featuring numerous notable athletes together with the brand slogan, Nike is able to attract customers and create that desirable perception. So to sum up, we need to basically define what we want our audience to remember us for, and giving them an easy to remember tagline is key to helping them remember your brand. So this was the last example on my list. So I gave you 7 examples of strategies behind famous brands. So you see, the world's most successful companies develop brand strategies that inform everything from product development to customer service to sales, marketing, and beyond. And at eBay Design, we look at developing brand strategy as the key step in the process of brand building. And you see, many clients come to me for a logo or brand identity system, but what they really want is to build a brand. And building a strong brand always starts with developing a brand strategy first. So that good strategy combined with great creativity will give your brand a fighting chance in this cluttered and hyper-competitive world. So that the brand strategy sets the foundation and further inform all your visual and verbal communication in order to help you build a brand that has a potential to become iconic. Now, how to develop a brand strategy? So if you want to build a strong brand that people love, you need to clearly define all the key components of your brand strategy. So basically, you should run a workshop with yours or your client's team and define all those key brand strategy elements. So how do you do that? So you simply run branding exercises to align stakeholders on the same page and get clarity on all those key aspects of strategy. And everything that you need in order to run this workshop effectively, you can find on my blog, where I share with you how to run each and every single branding exercise step by step. And you can also buy my premium guide with video tutorials and real case studies and worksheets and more additional resources to help you feel more confident and help you develop your brand strategy faster and more accurately. But anyways, I would love to hear from you about your experience in developing brand strategy. Do you find these examples of brand strategies inspiring at all? Are you going to run the brand strategy workshop? Either way, I would love to to hear from you in the comments below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well to let you know when we've got new videos coming out. And then head over to ebexdesign.com/blog/brand-strategy and check out my guide to developing a brand strategy. But anyways, let me know in the comments below what you think and if you have any questions, and I will do my best to answer all of those. Until next time, this was Arek Dworniczak from eBay Design.